Many apologies for the delay in the next video, but I've been very busy because my mother kept every piece of correspondence since 1960s filed neatly and carefully away, all postcards, all letters, all bills, bank statements, everything. So what I've been doing over the last several days is slowly burning it all, because initially I thought, well, let's hire some sort of shredding machine, because that's the good idea. But you know, you can't use ones from home because they last 5 minutes and then burn out. If you get a proper one, a decent one, that's going to set you back about 900 quid. If you rent one, that's going to be about 150 quid for one day. And then I thought, this is the way forward. 20 quid from wherever it was, a bonfire garden thing, and it's a joy, I tells you. And whilst I'm in effect shredding, I can look back at some of the memories that I am shredding. Not so much the bank statements, but all sorts of other bits and pieces. Needless to say, we're not shredding everything by any means. We have piles and piles of memorabilia and things, and all my grandfather's oil paintings, wood engravings, poetry, all sorts of stuff. So this is the tip of the iceberg, but I'm getting there. Anywho, in other news, I've been trying to get motivated again to start things. I've got a couple of projects that I'd like your opinion on. One of them is that, the wretched steampunk penny arcade machine. Oh, it seemed such a lovely idea at the time, creating a machine, an arcade machine that didn't use any external power at all. Everything was input, all the forces and everything were input by a human lifting this handle with a big counterweight at the back somewhere. Well, a little counterweight there actually, that's right. That pulls, that's it, that allows you to lift it. I can never remember how this works. And down there's the lifting bit with a lot of lead weights underneath. So you put the ball in, you put a coin in, you lift the ball up. It's then released at the top, and then your job is to keep it in play before it finally ends up in one of these things that it pushes down and locks everything up again. And the scoring is done by a pendulum that slowly ticks backwards and forwards and puts your score up. The reason being, because this was a completely unplanned project, that I didn't know what I was doing anyway. It evolved, and I realised that it made it much more easy or simpler to design the gameplay, just knowing that you've got the idea is to keep the ball in play. If it reaches the bottom and lands in that track, you can lift it back up again to the top, so your score can keep going up. So that was the plan, and I got to that stage, and so many problems. But I went back, and I think I've solved all the problems with the scoring system. And then I was thinking, right, let's get on with the gameplay. Problem was, hang on a minute, when you lift this right to the top, the ball comes out this hole here. That is really low down. I had come up with all sorts of ideas. A tube with like stars and moons and things that the ball would have to roll down. You could have a knob on this end that you twist it and try and control where it came out. And I realised it's actually the top of the game is here, which is ludicrous, I tells you. So I was then thinking, I've got to find a way of lifting the ball right to the top again, or extending, and I just gave up and thought, this is just too complicated. Everything I've done with this machine, I've had to do about 3 or 4 times, because nothing's worked and things need to slowly, once you can't force things to move with electrotrickery or something, everything becomes so much more complicated. But then, so I'm thinking about having a little flipper here, so the ball comes out this bottom hole on a flipper, like a normal pinball machine. You flip it, it shoots it up, if you get it right, and then it can roll into this idea with the planets and things up here. Then the idea was it was going to fall down and go into some sort of airship, so sort of Jules Verne type thing, with other features and other things as it slowly, and then possibly clouds that you had to move to try and keep it off one of these tracks. So that's the idea. So there's that. Let me know if you'd like me to get on with that. Or there's this. Now this has been sitting in my wardrobe for 30 years, since I built the wardrobe in fact. This I designed and made when I was teaching. It's an Art Deco, because I love Art Deco. I love these twiddly bits on the side. They're gorgeous. It was going to be a clock and day, date, month display. Problem was, when I designed it so long ago, I didn't know how I was going to actually make it work, because I hadn't discovered Arduinos and all that sort of thing. And I was thinking, well, I could have paper reels inside with the controls underneath or something, so each day I do, and I thought I'd never going to do that. It's not even worth considering, because I'm never going to get around to doing it. Do it electronically, possibly use some technical... I just got completely stuck, so it stayed in the wardrobe for 30 years. But now, of course, we do have the technology, and I do have a limited understanding of it. So this, by the way, was made out of sheets of MDF. I think they're sort of 18mm, or there's variable thicknesses, which I then routed with a router, I think my router, because the school didn't have one, and then stuck together and filled and sprayed. So very pleased how it turned out. But of course now I could do it in two ways. Again, let me know your thoughts, because I'm going to have a glowing dial with nice Art Deco letters around it, numbers, sorry. That's nice, want that glowing. But regarding these displays, I could do it with reels of paper or film or something with little stepper motors in that would move them along physically. Or, slightly more controversially, I could use one of those e-ink displays, or e-paper they're known as well. They're the sort of things that Amazon Kindles use, that's right. Now that would be ideal, because I can get some nice text, I can design them really nicely, and I've even found one that would actually fit underneath all three of these windows. So, you know, you just need one of these displays. I've never used one, so it's another learning curve. So let me know if you'd like me to look at that idea. But, having previously made 20 of these for a customer who makes the servo version into a product that he sells, I've realised I've run out myself. What did he do? Look at that. It's just started working. Oh, how funny. It's meant to work immediately, but obviously something got stuck. Quite possibly. That's nice though. Oh yeah, look, there's a sheet of my plans on the back that must have been stopping the pendulum from working. Ooh, lots of moving parts and chimes. Ooh. Yes, and it's not... Oh yes, it's still moving. Yeah, the pendulum is moving far enough. So that's nice. There we are. Recap. So as that rotates, this is dropping back down, turning potential energy into kinetic energy, if memory serves. If you land on one of these, it drops it down straight away, so you don't have to wait. Because I realised if the ball goes out of play and hits that, you don't want to stand there and wait while that slowly clicks down. So that's remembered the score, and now, depending on which one of these it's gone through, and I can't even remember how that works. Oh, it releases the coins from in here, depending on which one you landed in. Then you can lift it back up again. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes, or else I'd run out of them. So, the dear old 3D printer, bless its little cotton socks. Oh, there it is. How far have we got? 61%. No, it's not. It's 31%. 2 hours. They take 5.5 hours to print. So that's it for my Do Little Ender 3 Pro, which is now going to spend the next week printing 2 of these a day. As you may be aware, I also sell decorative gauges. That's decorative gauges, 6 different varieties, each one of which, I hasten to add, I built the original for and lovingly lit and photographed so that they did actually look realistic. And I had a lovely stock of them. I had 50mm one, well, 50mm gauges there, and 38mm ones for the whatever. And then suddenly one day, out of the blue, I received about 40 orders for sort of 40 of them from different people, and used the whole lot up. So, then I realised, okay, again, I'd run out of these, the glass lenses. So they've arrived this morning, so that's great. I'm going to print out a load more of these. I'm going to glue those onto those, and I'm also going to cut out and make some more of the actual gauge enclosures, because I hand make each of those. There's a front and a back stuck on. which ends up looking like that, into which the lens fits, which is lovely. And the great news is, even more exciting, that I heard from Dan this morning, Dan the TARDIS man, that I've been working with for about 3 years. He's got a TV production company and he needs a TARDIS console. I do apologise. And a few years back I made the base, which has regularly been getting in the way ever since, in a nice sort of way. There's all the prongler legs things that stick out down inside it. So that's there. But then the funding ran out, so I put it on hold, and I was charging him, because it's a good cause, I'm charging him half price and all sorts of other things, but it still ran out. These things just take so long to make. And then last year I think he found some more funding, so I made the time rotor, which is stored up there. So that's nice. And he contacted me this morning saying he has got, looks like, the funding to complete the whole thing, which is fantastic. Do let me know which of those other projects, the Art Deco clock or the wretched arcade machine, you'd like me to look at, and I'll look at them. I might stare at them even. Thanks very much for watching. Sorry this has been a rather strange video, but just to keep in touch, just to touch base, as they say in the world of baseball. Hope to see you soon. Let me know your comments. Thanks very much for watching again.